So if you've got a seat like this and it's just a basic shell, completely open, and there's nothing underneath it, like this one here, then I want to show you how to actually build a shelf, I guess, of sorts that goes across here, that completely closes this off from the top of this steel hoop here, all the way across to the top of this bit of flat bar, so that it creates like a little pocket in there for me to put whatever it is that I want to put in there. It's not going to be massive, but it's going to be enough to store a mobile phone or a wallet or even the garage door remote. So as you can see, that fits up pretty damn snug. The main thing that I'm really concerned about is the line here at this edge, to make sure it marries up with that line. That there's the edge of the actual hump where it drops down this way. So I want to make sure that is perfect, and making sure it touches up here so that I have some sort of contact when I physically actually start fiberglassing. So yeah, that's just the basic cardboard cut out at the moment, just the template. I'm going to try and start sorting out some of this wiring. There's a few things which I can do, which is one, these three I know I've got to come up to this electrical box that I've created up here. So I want to actually try, and what I'll do is I'll tape them together for now, just because I know that they're going to come up here. I can't run anything hidden right now, just purely because it is at mock-up stage. It hasn't been powder coated, obviously, so I don't really need or don't really want to run wiring hidden up until the point where it's completely powder coated, and then wiring's one of those last things that you do. But I can figure out where components need to be and if I need to replace them or put smaller ones, or what I need to do. So that's what I'm going to do now. So for now, these guys can be taped up, and then I'm just going to sort of place whatever else I need inside this box here, like the flasher unit, this ignition module, and yeah, the fuse box. There's just a few things that, like I said, I need to figure out what's going to go where. So it looks like the spaghetti monster's due for a new nickname soon. That is actually pretty easy to do. Like I said, I'm only doing a mock-up. This is only just the initial seeing where everything goes, to work out where I need to run things, inside what tubes and where holes need to be drilled or anything needs to be put in place. But basically, as it is, I've tidied it up. The starter solenoid wires go straight down there into the little box that I created. If you haven't seen that video on how I made that box, go and check it out. It's pretty cool. It's just been basically made of steel and folded up. It's just currently sitting there at the moment. It's not mounted, but it is in two pieces, so the solenoid's all hidden, and there's going to be a grommet. If you can see just in here, there's going to be a rubber grommet that pretty much just blocks that hole off so that the wires don't have an opening for the water to get in. But yeah, as you can see, the flasher unit, ignition module and fuse box all fit in there perfectly. There's no dramas there. All the wiring is obviously, once again, it's just going over the top of that ridge there, but it's all going to be tidied up. And I've run all the wires to the back that need to be back here. For instance, the signals and the tail light, and what's running out the side here is the master cylinder for the rear brake. That's just the signal wire for that, I believe. There's obviously a lot of work still to be, if I go to the extent of shortening wires and making things a lot neater. So this is just bundled up. I've gone up and then back again and then just taped it just so that it's nice and neat. But you know, you could put a loom over that and it would look magic. But yeah, it all depends on how much work you want to go. But the best part is I haven't extended or chopped any wires to make this work. So everything is factory as it sits now. The factory wire, and there's been no modifications, but everything still fits perfectly where it should go. So that's pretty cool. With my seats, because I'm going to have more than one, what I've decided to do is integrate the tail light and, well, not so much the blinkers, just the tail light into the seat itself, and then just have a plug that just plugs that tail light in somewhere down here. So I just connect it, put the seat in, and then off we go. So it's not permanently wired because it's going to be attached. The actual light itself will be attached to the seat, and the wiring obviously comes from somewhere down here. So just thought I'd mention that. So I thought I'd mention what I'm going to be doing with this, and how I'm actually going to fix this in here. Obviously I'm going to use something a little bit better than this blue tape, this painter's tape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a bead of silicone on the inside here, exterior silicone. As you know, the actual frame sits like this, and obviously the hoop that goes around, so you'll never see it from underneath. Not that you're ever going to look underneath to see anything like that, but it's just going to be a bead of silicone run round perfectly around that edge, and then obviously along here. On the inside, it's going to have like a layer of like felt, I guess, or some sort of material, just lined from the inside, and the upholsterer is going to do that. So what I might do is get him to do whatever he's got to do on the inside here, on the top edge, and on the underside of this, and then once that's done, then I'll actually fix this inside here like that, just so that it's all nice and neat from the inside when I do cut this glove box hole out. And obviously I've got to trim up that edge and make it nice and neat. But once again, I think I've mentioned this one here is actually just the mold. I probably will use this at some point, but this is just going to be taking the mold off. I'm doing a two-part mold split. I've mentioned that in one of my other videos, so I'm not going to be fixing this to the underside of that, to the underside of this one. However, the next one will have this piece actually glued in. Whether I probably use this piece, but if it doesn't fit perfectly, then I'll make another one. It's quite easy to do.